Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer Series at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum TF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Real Estate, Rotary and Reinvention, a conversation with Apurva Agarwal, founder of Universal Legal, a disciplined lawyer, entrepreneur, mentor, author, investor, Rotarian, jazz enthusiast, with over 25 years of experience spanning real estate, corporate law, private clients, arbitration, intellectual property, and startup mentorship. He has built a reputation for simplifying complex legal matters and creating lasting relationships built on trust. From studying at the Doon School and the National Law School of India University to earning an LLM from Australia and building one of Mumbai's respected law firms, his journey is a masterclass in vision, resilience and reinvention, and we also come to know Apurva as a person, and we are at Universal Legal's Mumbai office. So welcome Apurva to this in-person coffee shoot.
Thank you for inviting me to the show. I'm happy to host you at our office out here.
Yeah. So let me explain you, Apurva. There will be 3 rounds: professional, personal, and a surprise rapid fire round where you do not sit like your coffee with Karan and
I hope not a bad one.
Legal AI 101. आपको लेकिन witty, fun and quick रहना पड़ेगा, like the celebrities, because coffee is a celebrity show.
Correct.
Chalo, let's begin. First round. Friend of mine, Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation, Legal Tech Evangel Prime Infotech Solution, author of 20 books. So my first question, Apurva. Growing up, did you always see yourself becoming a lawyer? Or was there another dream profession hidden somewhere?
Okay. That's an interesting question, Amir. I come from a family of doctors. Okay, so my grandfather, uncle, aunt, everybody except for my father was a doctor. And my father was also in the pharma business. So everybody is indirectly connected to medical. So the obvious choice for me was to follow the family profession and join the medical fraternity. And that was drilled to me from the day I grew up. I had my own senses. But over a period of time, I realized that medical profession was not my calling, especially when I was doing my 11th and 12th, when I took sciences to further take that path of doing medical. I realized that was not my calling. So at that point of time, I realized that probably arts and commerce was something more interesting to me. And that's when I thought of doing law. Now, the next question is why law? Why couldn't anything? Okay, there's an interesting story which goes behind that. Let's rewind back to 93, 94 when I was just passing my 12th. I come from a small town, Bihar. I come from Patna, a small town a capital of Bihar. In that age, you're looking about 36 years back, the only 3 professions which was recognized in Bihar was either you be a UPSC guy, that you done your IS, IPS or whatever, or you be a doctor or you be an engineer. Any other profession was looked down upon. Yes, and law means that if you had not achieved anything, you went and did law.
Yes.
So, fortunately, unfortunately, I was categorized in that bracket. Little did people realize that National Law School had been set up in Bangalore, the first of national law schools, which was equivalent to AIMS and IIMs for law. I managed to get admission in that college, and people thought it was a paid seat, but it was a highly competitive exam, and that became my stepping stone to law at that point of time.
Wow. So let's build up a conversation. Real estate law impacts almost every family. What are the most common mistakes people make while purchasing property?
Not consulting a lawyer before purchasing property, but on a serious note, thing is, people think by just paying the money and not getting the title checked is okay. Why go to a lawyer? Why get the title of the property checked before buying a property? Little to realize that the lots of times the property may not have occupancy certificate. The property may be mortgaged or encumbered by some other third party. Somebody else may be the owner of the property. So all these needs to be verified before you think of buying that property. And therefore, you should hire the service of competent lawyer to do all that. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish in these cases.
Yes, very true. So, Apurva, over the last 2 decades, how has the legal profession evolved, especially the real estate and corporate law sector?
Okay. And let me give you an interesting anecdote.
Yeah, please.
I was getting married off in somewhere in 2002. 2, 3, I was getting married off. My wife, that time my fiance, during one of the casual conversation asked me, so when do you go to court? I said, I don't go to court. Then how do you make your money? I mean,
Yes.
that took me a step back, because till that time I realized, now people thought lawyers meant litigating lawyers. Court per jao, you see those classic movies and say, Tariq pe Tariq. Sunny Deol famous dialogue, which
Yes.
unfortunately, there is a segment of lawyers who does that kind of work for bread and butter, and very good ones also.
Yes.
However, over the past few years, especially post 1991, when liberalization happened, there's a lot more corporate work, lot more real estate transaction advisory work, lots more FEMA work, lots more banking and debt recovery work. So law has broken down into various other facets which people do. It's not only litigation work.
Yes.
And people can choose to do one or multiple types of that practice over a period of time.
Yes.
Like in any other profession, like in medical, you've got a gynecologist, you've got a child specialist, you've got a cancer oncologist, you've got a cardiologist. Engineering, you've got a civil, mechanical, software, aeronautics.
Yeah.
So why not in law? So that's what's happened, that diversification has been more explicit and more expanded and more fortified over the last 2 decades. And that's what's coming out and developed into full-fledged practice over a period of time.
Perfect. Beautiful answer. So let's go maybe down the lane, Apurva. Which transaction or matter in your career taught you the most valuable lessons?
Most valuable?
Lessons.
In terms of lessons, okay, I'll give you an example. I will not name the client because
Yeah, we don't want.
confidential reason. This is related to somewhat family law and property combined. We were doing a typical HNI Muslim lady had married twice. First marriage, landed up in a divorce with 1 kid. Second marriage, she married a Hindu. Okay, interfaith, nothing wrong with that. People do these interfaith marriages.
Yes.
So when she was making her will, and I'm saying will with a conscious term,
Okay.
her lawyers at that point in time made it as if she was a Hindu. Now, just to brief the audience at large, anybody can make a will, but every religion has its own peculiarities of making the will.
Yes.
Like I'll give the distinction between Hindu and Muslim because that's the context we should know.
Yeah, please.
In Hindu, a person can will away his or her property to anybody and whatsoever amount.
Yes.
There is no restriction on that. In a Muslim law, a Muslim can will away only 1/3 of his or her property. The rest will go as per the Sharia law of
Yes. Sure.
succession. Now, that will, fortunately for me, came to me for a second review. Okay, but आप check कर लो through a common friend if this will is okay. I saw the will looked okay. I checked the name, sounded Muslim as what's the religion of the lady. She's a Muslim, but married to a Hindu. I said, married to a Hindu, it does not matter.
It doesn't matter, yes.
Did
Religion
she
matters.
convert to Hinduism after marriage?
Then.
Answers, there's no paperwork, nothing to reflect that. Then for me, she's a Muslim.
Yes.
Her father is a Muslim. Then how has this will been made? People stunned. Nobody knew what to answer. Then I told them the repercussions. Only 1/3 she can will away. So then the next question is, how do you protect the property? Because She didn't want to give away property to the kids of the first marriage, and also wanted to leave a large corpus for some charitable purpose.
Good intention.
So I said, the only way is to form a family trust,
Yes.
and then over a period of time, gift all the assets to the family trust. The trust will look after her till she's alive, and after that, we'll go to the corpus for the charitable work which she wants to leave the money for. Okay, it was an expensive exercise, but it just taught me, what it taught me was to keep eyes and ears open,
Yes.
and not to rely upon what, just because another big law firm has done it, it does not mean it's right always the time.
Yes.
And more importantly is to ask the right question at the right time.
Yes.
Because if I hadn't asked that question, whether she's converted to Hinduism, I may have okayed it and
Yes.
gone ahead with the transaction. So these are some nuances which people should be aware of before advising a client.
Wow. Okay. My next question. It's related to your being an author. You wrote a book, Layman's Guide to Real Estate Laws. What inspired you to write this book? And as we had the previous conversation, it has we are discussing where you should update the book and go for a second print with the new amendments. So we look forward to that, and we'll have a conversation on that topic. But going back again, this evolving sector, real estate, has got many permanent combinations. So what inspired you about this first edition book?
Okay. When we were studying law, most of the books we read, it had such nice, converse, complex legal language. Okay. So as a layman, as a first student, could hardly understand the legalese of the language. When I became a lawyer, or when I became a lawyer and we started drafting documents, we were using phrases just because copy paste and precedents being set forward. When I started my own practice, I said we have to do something about the language, and we need to simplify it, because you're not drafting these documents or transactions for a lawyer, we're drafting for a layman to sign. So we need to simplify the language and the laws so that my common man on the street can understand it.
Yes.
So while we were doing this, a lot of things came forward, and real estate being my forte, I thought might as well try to simplify the laws of real estate so that today a man on the street can read it and probably understand the basics of real estate law, if not the advanced fundamentals. So that is the aim of doing it. So if that's why you see the word layman's guide,
Yes.
we're not talking about real estate guide. The layman's guide to real estate law, so that a person on the street, a person who has no legal knowledge, can read and at least have the basic fundamental, have a knowledgeable conversation on how to do a property transaction.
Wow. So another question related to the real estate industry. What major trends do you see shaping India's real estate sector over the next decade?
Over the next decade, in terms of legalities or in terms of the
Overall. So from the legal point and the market development. Because recently I had this conversation with Vice President Priya Sharma. He's from the Knowledge Realty Trust, learning about risks.
Okay, from the
Same thing I
legal,
asked him about real estate sector. Because nowadays so much.
there are quite a few things which are happening in the legal legal sector vis-a-vis the real estate. One is laws are being nationalized and being compartmentalized properly. RERA is a classic example of that, which has been implemented across most of the states, if not all the states. I think there are only 2-3 states which have not yet implemented RERA. Secondly, what they're also doing, at least in the state of Maharashtra, they're trying to simplify everything so that both the builder and the end user can benefit out of it. And to make title clear, the government is trying to attract large tracts of land and then some leasing to builders so that we don't have to worry about the title part of the property. Yes. In terms of marketability, I think what the government government is doing is trying to build the infrastructure. I mean, two things I would say. I mean, and people will may agree, may not agree with me. One is coming up a lot of airports around the country. You had Navi Bombay Airport just being launched, Noida Airport launched, about to be launched. Like that, quite a few greenfield and brownfield projects of airports coming up. Add to that is the national highways. Connectivity of one city to another city through the national highways. So travel, if you remember, and when you said 15 years back, there used to be a flight from Bombay to Pune. Now that flight doesn't exist. Why? Because Bombay-Pune infrastructure road has developed.
Yes.
So we can get in 2.5 hours by road, why take a flight? Or third now I would add is your train infrastructure. Trains like Vande Bharat, sleeper and the checker is enhancing the speed. Bullet train coming up. Now because of this, all corridors around these developments are getting a facelift. So your logistics parks, your other things are coming around these areas. So therefore real estate is, according to me, seeing a boom time, and it will do so for the next few years.
Very true. Very true. Okay. Now let's come to your next role as a startup mentor. What are the most common legal mistakes founders make?
The biggest mistake the founders do is they do not comply with the legal requirements at all. And especially documents intersect between the two founders. Now, they may set up a private company, but they not have a founders agreement between the two partners. Now, what is a founder agreement? It lays down the relationship between the founders, intersecting what will happen if things go bad, if things are good, and blah blah blah. Now, most founders tell me when I tell them, let's make this agreement, lays down the bread and butter, the nuts and good. So our relationship is good, why get into it? My question is, husband and wives don't survive a marriage these days. You expect you guys to survive a lifetime. I mean, there are enough startups where founders have exited long before it's achieved the unicorn stage for whatever reason. I'm not saying good, bad, or but people have exited, people have fought, people have thing. So for me, the key element for a mistake which they make is not to do a founders agreement. And also, when they're raising fund, not doing it in the proper manner in terms of valuation and in terms of proper legal work behind that. So these are two areas where startups fail miserably.
Wow. My next one. How important is trust in legal advisory relationship?
Very important. Today, like a medical doctor, if you approach, you have to trust your lawyers. If you don't, then I advise you don't go to them. Because then you're wasting your time and the lawyer's time. Okay. More importantly, a lawyer is a service provider and he is going to take your best interest in mind before advising you something. So learn to respect that.
Yes. Wow. Okay. So Apurva, you went to do LLM in Australia. My first question is, why Australia? Then second one is, how did that international exposure shape your perspective on law and business?
Okay. Why Australia? Is part of the Commonwealth countries. So we had a similar system of laws between Australia and India. That was a major reason. Number two, the college I went to was called Bond University, which is a private university. So it obviously had a more lenient way of structuring the courses, so you could pick and choose different courses and do different things at a different point of time, rather than the typical follow the same route throughout the year. So these are two advantages of going to that college and going to Australia. Number three, till I finished my law, I had no international exposure as a student. So I needed that exposure to see how people were treating India and vice versa. From as a perspective wise. So therefore, after working for a couple of years, I chose to do my LLM in Australia and to 2001.
Wow. So after working with leading law firms, what motivated you to take the entrepreneurial leap and establish your own practice, Universal Legal, and what's the story behind naming of your law firm, Universal Legal?
Okay. First, why did we start Universal? Why did I take that leap? We go back to 2003. I just left DSK Legal and joined Luthra and Luthra. Till time Luthra and Luthra was only a Delhi-centric law firm. It was entering the Bombay market for the first time. And I was, interviews, conversation happened. Apurva Agarwal got hired by Luthra to head the real estate team. So far, so good. And that time, we were the first 2 or 3 members to be hired especially with the Bombay team. So that time, the 2 or 3 of us, we actually helped set up the entire Luthra office in Bombay. Right from identifying the office space to what will go inside the pantry, what computers to buy, the dirty job of what you call or setting up the
Law firm.
law office.
Yeah.
Then, set it up. Some 1 or 2 parts from Delhi came, all of us started the work. A year down the line, it struck me one fine morning. If I could help set up somebody else's law firm,
Yes.
why not set up my own?
Very true.
I was just married at that time. So I spoke to my wife on this. We had no kids. She said, what if it fails? I said, yes. But if I don't do it now, the more I progress up my ladder, the bigger the salary, I will not be able to do it then.
Very true.
And if I do it now, if I fail, I'll give myself a year and a half or year.
Great.
If I don't see clients walking in, we'll shut shop. My CV is strong enough with the National Law School background, with the work I've done with DSK, Luthra, and other places. I may get a pay cut, but I will get a job.
Very true.
So I said, 1 year risk I can afford to take now. Because after I have a kid, that risk taking ability will be less. So that took the plunge. We started on my own as Apurva Associates. Because that time I wasn't sure whether to go into partnership or thing. Over the next 2-3 months, got some clients, work started flowing in. Hired 2 people also to assist me in working. Then I met my partner Mohit Kapoor, who was with me in DSK Legal. He had also quit DSK Legal and started his own practice. So then we got talking. See, you're doing it on your own, I'm doing it on my own. Why not combine our strengths and cover our weaknesses and start a law firm together? So the conversation started somewhere May mid. By June end, partnership did signed, place identified. June 30th did the puja, walked in. July 1st, 2004, we were up and running.
That's good.
That's the story behind.
Universal Legal. How did the name come out?
Universal Legal, okay. Now, a brief about both of us.
Okay.
Both of us are first generation lawyers
Yes.
with no family connection to law fraternity at all. I am first generation in Bombay. So no question of nepotism or parents promoting. Nothing wrong with that, but fact is that we had no backing to support us up. So, and plus we wanted to give an added that we were there to do all kinds of work and give practical solution at a reasonable price to all our clients. Therefore, universal and legal being legal summed it up. So that was the
beautiful story. So Apurva, what excites you most about the future of legal professional?
About the legal profession, there's a challenge every day. Even if I'm doing a similar kind of transaction, you find nuances coming out every now and then. So that's, every transaction teaches you something new.
Yeah. Yes.
Number 2 is the law keeps changing or evolving over a period of time. when we started practicing law in 98, 99 with TSK and other places, Information Technology Act wasn't there at all. It came on 2000. Maharashtra Rent Control Act came in later. So as you see, the laws keep evolving. Right now in today's age, we're talking about AI. We're talking about driverless cars. How will that impact the law? Technology evolves, human touch goes out. So these things are challenges which keep us looking beyond the traditional paths of law and keeps us alive and kicking.
Wow. So thank you for leading me to my next question. How is technology transforming legal services in India?
Okay, I know there are lots of lawyers and law firms are using technology to draft the documents and using technology as a tool to find the right answer. I am a firm believer to use technology to help you find the answers and and do your research and everything else. I'm not a fan of technology drafting documents for you. So now why would I say that? See, the moment you start using technology to draft your documents, whether it's your pleadings in the court or your contractual agreements or anything, you're losing that human touch. Okay. I mean, today we are currently my firm is doing about 5 or 6 property transaction, buying and selling of flats and things. If you see, each document is different. It's not the standard cut, copy, paste.
Beautiful.
So that, because if I lose that human touch, my ability to think, to customize it for my client will go up for a 6.
Yes.
तब लोग यही कहेंगे ना कि it was there in the last document, so I'll keep it here.
Yes.
Using technology to do your research, because case laws keep evolving, it doesn't mean that you stop reading the case laws. It should help you find the case law. It should help you find the meaning of the word. But it does not mean that you should stop reading the text. So that's why technology, if used properly, and involves with time and gives you a better solution.
Beautiful. So my last question for your professional journey round. Apurva, if a young lawyer wants to build a successful practice today, what skills should they focus on which goes beyond the legal knowledge?
Common sense, which is most uncommon thing in the country right now. And why I say that? See, reading, if you are a good researcher and if you have good analytical skills and legal skills, you have to apply it in a common manner to achieve those results. You can't be rigid about anything. You have to apply common sense to get the transaction through. You're not at those, like I feel today, there are 2 types of lawyers as we discussed. One is broadly 2 types. One is the litigation lawyer and one is the documentation, drafting, advisory kind of lawyers. Let's talk about the documentary advisory kind of lawyers. When you're negotiating a transaction sitting opposite the other side, you're not 2 adversaries. It's just that you're representing the other side to find a common ground and get the transaction through. So and that's one thing which I keep telling my team and my clients. As long as something does not harm you, why not accept it and move forward? That's common sense.
Beautiful.
Okay. Suppose by your accepting he is getting something and is not harming you, why not accept it? In return, he'll give you 10 other things. Correct?
Yes.
So that is something which will get. Even in terms of litigation lawyers, common sense. When we get a dispute coming to us for prospective litigation and all, we do cost benefit analysis. Keep boss, your dispute is for 5 crores. Given the Indian judicial system is going to last you at least 10 to 12 years. 10 years down the line, that 5 crores is going to come at least 3.5 crores in terms of inflation and everything.
Yes.
You have to spend at least 30, 40, whatever,
Yes.
court fees, lawyers' fees. So roughly for 5 crore suit, they're spending 1.5 crores.
Very true.
Broadly, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
numbers may vary differently. If somebody is going to settle at 4 crores today, what would common sense say?
Take it.
Then don't get to ego involved.
Yes.
Okay,
A bird in hand.
it's better than 2 in the bush.
Yes.
Correct? So that's why I say common sense is the most uncommon. And I'll tell you, majority of the lawyers who are litigation, नहीं सर लड़ता आपको 5 crore मिलेगा ना,
हाँ.
बट कब मिलेगा?
कब मिलेगा? उसका टेंशन कौन पालेगा? तेरे को थोड़ी पालना है.
So people do it for
5
different
years, 10 years, 20 years का.
people do it for different reasons.
हाँ.
God save them.
Yes.
Sometimes we say we are going to put litigation in the front. Not that I'm going to achieve anything by that, but as a pressure type to get the other side of the table
Yes.
to talk.
Yeah.
And I tell the clients upfront that. That is the purpose, not that I expect any result out of it.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the common sense thing which people should have.
Very true. Let's go to the next round and understand Apurva as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative year. Briefly, you have shared.
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, I was born in Patna. I come from a very professional family of doctors, all well educated, well settled. We are a large family, so we are what? Grandparents, parents, uncle, aunt, all under one roof, so joint family. So for us, education was the key. So therefore, formative years in Doon, before that I was in St. Paul's School, Darjeeling, college, and when I tested to law, it had to be the best law college, National Law School. It couldn't be your Patna Law College or any other law college. So education was the key for us to move out and do what we wanted to. And we were open-ended, independent. Preferred choices were given, but we could make our own independent choice and go ahead. So that's how I grew up. Presently, I've got married happily with my wife. Her name is Ruchi. We were married in 2002, so almost as good as 25, 26 years now, plus. Actually, 24 years now. 25 years will be next year.
Next day.
Right? 2 daughters.
Wonderful.
And yeah.
Okay. My next one. What do weekends usually look for Apurva?
Weekends. Okay. We try not to work on weekends. Okay. But what happens from off? We shut office on weekends. That's a complete thing. Nobody's supposed to come on weekends. You take a weekend seriously. I tend to work till Saturday afternoon, till about 2:33. And then it's all family time. Depends on what my wife and my daughters need. We go out for movies, we go to the club for a swim, we play badminton, whatever. Go visit relatives, go out with friends. So things like that.
Wow. Let's come to your creative interest. You've been associated with jazz addicts. How did your love for jazz begin?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I liked music, but I was never fond of jazz initially. Now, over a period of time, we met up with a lot of friends, who loved jazz. So, catching on to them, sitting with them over a drink at times, we started enjoying that kind of music. Now, over a period of time, what happened, in what we saw in India, again, unwind 15 years back, we are not getting any good international jazz performers in India.
Yeah.
We still don't to that level. Now, at least because of us people start coming in, and now you've got most of the big pop stars also coming in. But so the idea was to get in these international jazz guys, especially Grammy Award winners, to come and perform live in India. And to a large extent, I think we succeeded in doing that.
Wow.
Till COVID, and we spent 8 or 9 years doing this, we must have done at least 40 to 50 artists down in India. From US, Africa, Europe, Russia. Then COVID hit. That's when, jazz took a backseat because nothing was moving. And then I just failed to revive that after that.
Wow. So, Apurva, if you could attend any concert in the world tomorrow, what would it be and where?
Musical concert?
Yeah.
See, I have become a jazz aficionado right now. One of the best jazz saxophone players in the world today is a guy called Igor Butman. I, in fact, quite regularly, at least once a year, twice a year, and he's from Russia. I've flied down to Moscow at his invite to attend his concerts.
Wow.
So that connection still exists. We were last in September, October last year. Probably this again, sometime soon we'll be flying out.
Wow. Okay. Next one. What inspired your deep involvement with Rotary?
Okay. There are two reasons why I joined the Rotary. One, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a fourth generation in Bombay. So apart from my college friends who had joined other law firms or jobs in Bombay, I knew nobody in Bombay. And apart from my colleagues in office. So I needed to know people who are outside my legal fraternity. And I couldn't go and knocking doors, be my friend and come out and have a drink with me, right?
Yes.
So what was the best way? It was to join an organization. So somehow I got a connection with the Rotary Club of Bombay Nervin Point. And so they were organizing some Dandiya nights and stuff. So I happened to meet with them and like the crowd was of my age.
Yes, that is very important.
So that was very important for me. Somehow with the people who I met, I gelled with them. Then I joined the club more to get to know more people, network and whatever. So that was the first step. Then over a period of time, I stuck on the same club more because networking, friendship grew.
Yes.
Family grew as a family. Two, more importantly also, to do social service. There comes a time when you have to give back to society.
Very true.
In one way or the other. Whether you do it directly or through a social network, like you do it through Lions Club, I'm doing it through the Rotary Club.
Very true. Okay. So my next one, which social initiative has left the biggest impact on you personally?
I became the president of the Rotary Club 2006-2007. One of the first projects which we did was to upgrade a deaf and dumb school in Dadar called Vikas Vidyalaya. That project left a deep mark for me because we were actually helping students who were not accepted by the people, Now people are talking about special needs children, accepting them and taking them for long. Again, 14 years back, it was not talked about. So some of the results, because of our helping those in school, give them a lot of aid, school has started producing engineers and doctors and stuff.
Yes.
Despite their so-called disability. So that's a project which is deep to mine.
It's beautiful. So what does leadership mean to you outside the corporate world?
Universal legal leadership or Rotary leadership?
Both you can say.
See, I would say what leadership has taught to me is to be humble and not to be arrogant.
Yes.
At one point in time, that hit me once when I was trying to be arrogant, do it, it's my way or the highway, That something does not work in the life. Even if you're running an organization of your own, like I'm doing here with a 15-member team and everything, you have to be humble, you have to respect other people.
Yeah.
And that's the only way where people respect you and grow together.
Beautiful. So if your friends were to describe you in 3 words, what would they say?
Fun, loving person.
Beautiful. So which is that book or movie which has left biggest influence on your life?
Okay, in terms of the movie, there's a movie called The Intern. That's, I mean, shows that a retired person coming back and working an intern with the thing and helping the management realize what they should be doing. So what that taught me was how to, age is not a barrier.
Yes.
Another movie which really inspired me, and that comes from legal fraternity movie, Erin Brockovich.
Yes.
How a woman single-handedly, almost down to earth, fought the way through. Even initially when the law firm where she was working also did not support her to bring down a big industry. In terms of books, there have been lots of books which have been, because I'm a big firm believer in written books, and you would see my collection around. So there have been numerous of them, autobiographies, biographies of lots of people I read. So
Wow. So my next one, what legacy would you like to leave behind?
for the world, they should know me as a good boy who's tried to do something. For a family, it should be being a good father and a good husband.
Beautiful. My last one is googly one. Describe Apurva in 1 word.
Joy.
Wow, beautiful. So let's put in the hot seat, the rapid fire round. Your go-to comfort food.
Go to comfort food. Dal, chawal, aloo ki sabji.
Your favorite color.
Blue.
Your dream travel place for related to music.
Moscow.
Wow. Courtroom or boardroom.
Boardroom.
Property deal or startup deal.
Startup deal.
Mentor or mentee.
Mentor.
Best piece of advice received.
Be yourself. Don't try to imitate anybody else.
Tea or coffee to recharge.
Coffee.
You're the coffee share. Let's wait. Okay. And so here's the gift. And it has been autographed also.
Thank you.
So let me wrap up. So Apurva, your journey beautifully demonstrates that success is not merely about building a legal practice. It is about building trust, nurturing relationships, creating impact, and continuously learning along the way. Thank you for sharing your professional wisdom, personal experiences, and life lessons with us. So like that, there are 1,000 plus coffee speakers who have shared their professional personal journeys. Subscribe to the Coffee Gun Show on YouTube. You can also listen on Spotify, and we continue our conversation with another speaker over a cup of coffee. So take care. Thank you.